This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It is an honor to have you here. Here's one of my 5-cent seeds that I planted back in February. And it's a pepper, a bell pepper plant, looking pretty healthy, ain't it? Between the good soil and keeping it watered and running a fan to keep it wiggled so it strengthens it, it's looking awful good. But you're here for a story. Okay. The story is that talking to one of the techies that's part of making missiles for the industrial military complex, he said they're building those handheld rockets that take out tanks. He said we build them for about $3,000 a piece. It's what they actually cost. And then we sell them for $30,000. Now true, they work pretty good. You know, they're taking out a $10 million tank, give or take. And what's interesting, some of the drones, the suicide drones, the 4-footers or so, that they can fly into a tank or into something and have the explosive head right on the drone itself. It's interesting that he said that our people over here, our expert computer people over here, can fly them from here by, of course, satellite to the other side of the world, and so they don't even have to be over there to make a good hit and do damage to Russia and make Russia look bad. Interesting talk I had with him. Be that as it may, we also have to talk about the slap that was seen around the world. Yeah, at the Oscars, when a man got upset about a joke and he had to slap somebody, hit him, and he had to then say the F word numerous times. And I always feel sorry for people who have to say the F word, because that shows an immaturity, in my humble opinion. Be that as it may, all I have to say, since so much has already been said about it, is this. If you, or if I, had hit somebody publicly, we would have been handcuffed and hauled to jail. And if you might say, well, he didn't press charges. The charges aren't needed from him. They have the evidence on film. They don't need him at all to get that gentleman convicted of assault. And that would go with him for the rest of his life. Absolutely. And should. Violence is never acceptable, in my humble opinion. Be that as it may, and the third short story is this, that a rancher / small feedlot here, local, he hired a national Mexican to come up here on the green card, and he can be here for 3 years and then try for his citizenship, if you will. And he is a veterinary down in Mexico. Now, why would a veterinary, a professional down there, need to come up here? Well, it said that he was only making about $10 an hour on good days. $10 an hour. And he said up here, you know, he starts them at about $25,000 to do work and general labor, farm labor. And even though the gentleman can't do veterinary work, he can at least come up here and make a lot more money, and then in time bring his family up here so that they can all have a better life. They can have a better life. And I thought that was interesting, that we quite often think that it's the people on the bottom of the pay scale down there coming. But there's a lot of different people and price ranges coming here with the hope of succeeding in America where they couldn't in their own country. And the only problem with that is, I wonder how many we can take, because our water shortages and fuel shortages and everything else, you know, how much more can we take? And you also got to feel sorry for their nations losing good people like that. If they stayed there, they may somehow, some way, make that nation better. It's McCook's Mr. Bill. Food for thought for the day. You guys have a safe day.